So today I watched the Pelicans game today. Um, and I got a few takeaways from it. Uh, this is intellectually honest. Episode one, raw, unedited, uncut. We just gonna get right into it. Um, so the Pelicans have been struggling. I don't know if this to kind of give y'all some context, like the ones who don't really watch. The Pelicans were so far they've been like the biggest disappointment in the league, in my opinion. Because if you look at how last season ended, not counting the bubble, um, the Pelicans ended kind of like pushing toward the playoffs. People were comparing Zion and Lonzo to Stockton and Malone, saying that Ingram, Ball, and Williamson were like the next great young core. Uh, they fired Alvin Gentry, got Stan Van Gundy in there. He's supposed to be legendary, depending who you ask. Um, uh, they not doing. They not looking too hot. I think they have an identity crisis of sorts going on over there. Um, like I said, they've been kind of trash this year so far. They played my Celtics today, and Lonzo Ball has really turned it around, man. Like I said, I had a lot of hope. I liked him. I liked him coming out of UCLA. He's really probably my favorite player in the league right now. Just like that's no cap. Like he's probably I just love watching him play. He's like the way he plays the game it's such a beautiful thing to see when he's allowed to really control the pace and hit people, and that jumper just looks silky smooth, man. So big ups to him for the work that he's put in to achieve that. Um, but let's get into it. Like, so I got a few takeaways from that Pelicans and Celtics game today. Uh, Takeaway number one, that was the best. I think that was the best Pelicans game so far this season. Because maybe I don't know what it was like in terms of uh offensive efficiency, like the numbers. But I think that in terms of what they had to what if you actually watched it, Ball came out consistent, just like picking up where he's been at lately, just killing it with the jumper, banking it off the glass, like all that, affecting both ends of the floor. Um, Brandon Ingram was pretty consistent, scoring all night, all day, and Zion got off to a really slow start. It looked like they were really putting the clamps on Zion early on, and then he came out in the second half and just turned into what we know him to be, which is Thanos pretty much. And they overcame a great deficit. I think they say that's the largest deficit in franchise history. The largest comeback in franchise history. So they look good. They showed some real grit. Granted, they didn't beat. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like they beat like some amazing team. They beat my Celtics, uh, and we're not amazing. Jaylen Brown is amazing. Tatum is amazing, but I mean, the bench is depleted. It look like they got some guys from the public basketball court down the street from where I live. Kemba Walker went back in time, and he's a fourth grader now. Um, like they just ain't looking too good, man. So it's not. So I'm not. I think even tonight, today, Kimba was trash, and I heard it. I don't want you to think I'm a Kimba hater. I love Kimba Walker. He was my favorite player in that draft. I liked him at UConn, but he's been ass. He just woke up when he. I think he went to. He had a meeting with Darren Williams, and Darren Williams showed him his ways. He woke up one day and decided he's gonna be trash, and that's where he's at right now. Um, and so but all in all, I do think that was the best win, or the best game I've seen the Pelicans play. Like you really kind of saw the vision of what Stan Van Gundy probably wants to happen out there. The defense clamped up. Uh, Point Zion, you know, he did. Like I said, the fourth quarter was Zion controlling, pretty much handling the rock a lot. Um, he was really able to get himself going. It was nice, And then, like I said, they showed some real guts and some real grit. So the takeaway number two: Lonzo Ball is the only two-way player on this team. I know that to some of y'all that might be a hot take. Lonzo Ball is the only two-way player on this team. Um, he's I watched this man from start to finish affect both sides of the court. Ingram don't play D. Zion don't play D. Eric Bledsoe, Willie Holden Gomez don't play D. It's like nobody on that team plays like straight up defense all night except Zoe. And then Zoe comes down on the offensive end and affects that size too. It's probably the best, probably one of the best pure shooters in the league at this point. I mean, I think it's over the last stretch. The only person really shooting at a better clip than him is Steph. So I mean, what does that say if the only person shooting better than you just happens to be the best shooter of all time? Um, so Zoe, he's really stepping it up. And like I said, I think he's the only two-way player they have. I'm not saying he's a two-way star. Like he's not a star on both sides of on both sides of the ball yet, but he definitely affects. He has a noticeable impact on both sides of the ball, unlike any other player on that team. So that's takeaway number two. No, takeaway number three. Um, Takeaway number three, Robert Williams. This is more regarding the Celtics. Robert Williams needs to start. We went into the offseason with two main goals: fill out the bench and get more of a presence in the paint. Robert Williams is that presence in the paint. Tristan Thompson is good. I get it. He won a ring with LeBron because how can you not? Um, Daniel Tice is steady. But the things I saw Robert Williams do out there today, and the things I've seen him do, just from a physical standpoint, those guys can't do that. Like Tice can't do that. Like Tice, like I watched Robert Williams today guard Brandon Ingram at the 3-point line. Brandon Ingram being 6'7", 6'8", long arms, goes up for a three. Robert Williams stretches out. He jumps up, stretches out, and blocks the three. So I'm like Tice ain't giving you that. Tristan Thompson ain't giving you that. Like, and then they lob it up to him. This man goes arms and elbows above the rim and throws it out. It's like we need that. That's a level of dynamic athleticism that we haven't had at the big man position. Um, I would say since KG, but yeah, I'd say since the '08 KG. Yeah. KG wasn't jumping that high, but just that level of like mobility and athleticism, yeah. Um, but he needs those minutes. Tristan Thompson. I don't know why we went and got him. I didn't think it was a need to get him personally. Um, but he's there. I would bring him off the bench. Definitely. That starting lineup needs to be Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Robert Williams. And Tristan Thompson, Daniel Tice, and whoever else can come off the bench. Like I said, it's not like we filled out the bench anyway, so it don't really matter. Our best bet is to jump on teams early and try to get this, establish dominance early. That way, our bench don't really matter because apparently Danny Ainge don't care about depth anymore. So that's takeaway number three. Robert Williams needs those minutes. Takeaway number four. Eric Bledsoe may have lost. This is going back to the Pelicans. Eric Bledsoe may have lost his starting spot. Watching Josh Hart and Lonzo Ball out there, they have a synergy between them that's just undeniable. Like the way it's like they make each other better on defense. And Josh Hart runs the floor with Lonzo. They play so well off each other. I'm not saying Josh Hart in a vacuum is better than Eric Bledsoe, but as it relates to the team, in the context of the team, in the context of Lonzo Ball being in the backcourt with him, it's better than Bledsoe. Um, if you saw it, it's you would know what I mean. Like they really, I know Ingram. You look at the box score, Ingram and Zion got the points, but the real difference in this game was Ingram and was Ball and Hart on that defense. They really made it hard for the Celtics to get any kind of rhythm, any kind of flow to their offense. So that's takeaway number three. I think I'm on. Josh Hart needs that starting spot. Eric Bledsoe needs to sit down. Maybe come in and run with Kyra. Uh, but that starting lineup needs to be Ball, Ingram, Hart, Zion, and really, I know Steven Adams is that guy, and I kind of want to stick with that. But I like Nico Melli out there because nobody's in the paint. Nobody's in the paint clogging it up for Zion at that point. Nico Melli does his damage from the three. you know. So I think that's something they might want to consider. But I go either way. I like Steven Adams. He's that guy. Um, so that's that. That's takeaway number three. Takeaway number four. Um, and I guess this is my final take. Free Lonzo, man. Free Lonzo Ball. Um, I like I like the idea of this young core, but it doesn't seem like Ball is ever gonna be able to unleash. It's kind of like that James Harden OKC Thunder situation from years and years ago. We didn't know, like, James Harden was just energy off the bench. He was a six man. He was scoring off the bench. Instant offense is what he was. We didn't know he was an MVP. You know what I'm saying? Thunder didn't want to pay him. He went out and got what he was worth. And I think that's the situation that Lonzo's in. They're treating him like he's a third wheel. Like if KD is if KD is KD, if Ingram is KD, then Zion is Westbrook, right? The KD's like the lanky three-level scorer, ultimate one-on-one machine, and Zion, and like Ingram is, and Zion is the ultimate explosive athlete. He's a big Russell Westbrook. An athlete like we never seen before. And Lonzo's just like the not quite. He's athletic, but not that athletic. Like kind of like Harden. He's just this skilled player who affects the games in so many ways that goes understated and will continue to go understated as long as he's on this team. I'm not saying he's the scorer that James Harden is. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that his talent is gonna be kind of overlooked as long as he's on this team. We're not really gonna see the real Lonzo Ball. I'm talking about the Lonzo Ball with this improved confidence with his jumper, his yet still improving defense, his improved free throw percentage, everything. This more confident Zoe until he can put all that together around his natural playmaking ability that he already has. And I think he just needs to get on the team where he can show that. And I think then we'll look back on this situation and be like, wow, years down the line, if let's say Zion doesn't develop a more part of his game, similar to Westbrook. Let's say he remains just this unreal athlete, right? Brandon Ingram has shown that he's like Carmelo Anthony. He gets a lot of points, not a lot of results. Let's say years go by, right? We look back and Zoe has already, has a couple deep playoff runs, maybe a ring, and now Zion is looking like Blake Griffin or Russell Westbrook, like that player that just never evolved. This is like just my prediction. I hopefully, obviously, I hope Zion does continue to grow and develop. So is Ingram, but this is just they're like a what if scenario, I guess you would say. And we looking at Zoe like or they all might continue to grow and develop, and we'll be looking like, wow, the Pelicans really had all three of these guys, but for whatever reason, they just slept on Lonzo. So that's my last take. Free get them the fuck up out of there. That organization ain't going nowhere. Um, they had two of the best players of the last decade Don't forget, and Chris Paul and Davis, not at the same time, but it's at separate times. And they did nothing. I mean, they accomplished nothing. Davis made the playoffs twice in 7 years over there. That organization is not. They're not the kind of organization you win with. They're the kind of organization you go there, develop your skills kind of under the radar, and then you burst onto the scene on a team that's really about something. AD, Chris Paul, Lonzo is probably gonna be next to do that. So, hope y'all enjoyed that video. I look forward to making more videos like this, and being able to open up and just talk about, just like hot topics and stuff, and give my honest opinion on topics, and just seeing how y'all sound off on it in the comments. So, this is Intellectually Honest, and I hope y'all continue to tune in. And I look forward to doing this a lot more.